And give it a couple seconds. And okay, we're live. I usually wait till about 5 seconds because I've gone into other lives where people are already talking and it doesn't pop up until they're in
I've
the
seen
middle
that.
of. So that's why I try to give it at least 5 seconds. And so it's another Friday night, everybody. How are you? How was your week? Um, it's good to have everyone joining us. And first off, Magus was here. Hello, Magus. Thank you so much for popping in. Um, we have Karen who did like a 3 hour show today. Girl, you were tapping in. So,
Wow.
yes.
Wear your
She,
blue blockers.
oh yeah, the when she says blue blockers, the lights for the blue light from the iPads and
Yes.
stuff. So let's see. And Ann says, you know what they say about early birds? Turkey time. Oh my God. So Karen, really quick, I sent Ange the picture that I sent you with the turkey with the teddy. Allison's probably going, what? So during really brief for anybody who doesn't know, and this was really funny, Allison, you had to be there. I came in late, and apparently, when Tom gets in the chat, you got Ange and Karen and other stuff going on. Shenanigans happens, and I walked in, and someone they were talking about something to do with licorice thorns and bubblegum underwear, and I'm like, what the hell? And Karen had on her little headband with the turkey for how not for Halloween, for Thanksgiving. And I'm thinking, well, what else can I do to add to this? And I went, oh, what about a turkey teddy? Like a cliche. So I had to go on to Canva, and during the show, I found a little female turkey, found a little, Teddy graphic stuck in the turkey, and I sent it to Karen. We all needed a good laugh
Nice.
that day. I think this was Tuesday or Wednesday, so energy was a little low, so we were all laughing, having a good time. So
The election was
and Karen,
Tuesday.
yeah, so we all needed a good laugh, a good pick me up. Oh, Karen, I think you were going and showing her new deck, something Valentino or something, very strange looking deck. So there was a lot of laughs that night. Oh my goodness, Chad is jumping. So I lost the other half of it. So the latest I can see is we need a club name for what? I saw something earlier of paranormal, and when it comes to paranormal, Allison's got a book that she borrowed from her niece on haunted Ann Arbor, and so Allison's going to look at the book this coming week, pick a location, maybe two, and we'll be doing readings on that. But if anybody has a location or an experience that you want us to pull cards on, let us know. And
Yeah,
for when and if
that'd
we
be
don't
fun.
have anything like that, we do have like a little spread for questions and stuff. So Christina is here. Good day, my dear. It's probably afternoon now in Christina's saying hello from the future. She's in Australia, so hello. Kristen Louise just got home from a date. I'm getting so old. I'm pooped. Oh, well, it's nice you and hubby can go out and have a date. That's sweet. Um, we got some Tim Hortons and a cup of coffee and you know some ice mocha. That was our date for today. And Jay is here. Hello, Jay. And Karen says, yes, I have some glasses for that. Thanks, Allison. I might wear them on my live tomorrow. So
Awesome. I'm gonna
we
order some really good quality ones for me for Christmas. That's
mine
gonna be my
mine are
birthday or
supposed
my
to
Christmas.
happen. Very nice. And
Want to get
Allison,
the good ones.
her connection's a little slow, a little wonky. But
Oh, I'm sorry, everybody.
so we're going to.
Hmm.
Hey, there've been nights when we've been like this and we've been fine. So there's always popping back in. And wait a minute, Miss Tarot D is here. So the chat jumped, so I couldn't see when you first said hello. So Miss Tarot D, I have to see this harlot card. Yes, Miss Tarot D. So okay, Allison, you know Fatima. You know how she's that sweetie that comes in and leaves comments, and she's so supportive and everything. Well, this deck that Karen was going through had some kind of like Hieronymus Bosch kind of like artwork going on, kind of that creepy, Christian kind of like really weird, kind of freaky stuff. Um, and she pulled a card. that said the harlot. But she was asking anybody who wanted a card pull, who felt, brave to get a card pull from this deck. And Fatima says, I'll take a card. And Fatima gets the harlot. And it's this woman pulling her little skirts open with the double going. And we are all laughing in chat on the screen. And she was such a good sport. So it was a wild time. And that was what Miss Tarot D was referring to. So the harlot card, what did I miss? I need a harlot card. Well,
Heather,
yeah.
I'm going to sign out
Okay.
and do a couple things and then sign back in. See if I can make this any better.
Okay.
Because I can see a delay happening. So
okay.
I'll at least try. I'll be back in a couple
Okay.
minutes, everybody.
All righty. So hello, Brenda. Brenda Tarot is here. So yeah, Kristen, I think, okay, Miss Tarot D says, what deck was it? It was something with a Valentino or something like that. And Jay, I'll have to start that. Yeah, some of the expressions well, between, Allyson and I, some of them are just like, yeah, it was in reverse. The Zammer, it's called the Zammer twins. Oh, I thought it was a Valentino or something like that. Okay. Oh boy. So y'all, yeah, it's been a week. So this is gonna be an evening of lifting up the spirits. And Karen says, yep, that is the one. So oh, Kristen, I mean, I don't know what the hell I walked into. People were laughing about bubblegum underwear. I had a telehealth appointment with a doctor. And as soon as I was done, I popped in and I walked into bubblegum underwear, licorice thongs. And I was like, well, what about a turkey teddy? And then we started pulling cards, and it was just, oh my God. It was so good to laugh that day, to kind of release, the crap from the election. So, Karen, thank you for that wonderful live. It meant a lot. So, so yeah, I have a spread set aside, possibly for readings, but Allyson and I want to kind of tap in to see what people wanted us to read on tonight. And of course, we're going to forego talking about the elections or doing any, we don't do political reads on the channel. We want to kind of try to stay positive and keep the mood up. And so if anybody has any paranormal experiences or have had any kind of dreams, Allyson's really been enjoying reading on that stuff. And so we'll have something for next week. And Ange, Bobby knows we wanted to do the birdcage. Still waiting to hear from Bobby on the birdcage. So let's see, Karen's shenanigans, absolute shenanigans. No one got the bedfellows. I can't remember that one, but you know what, Karen? Shan started talking about another movie he started to watch, and what was it called? He pulled up that Leviathan. And I'm like, now 2 days after you pulled the Leviathan card and couldn't figure out how to pronounce it, he's brought it up twice now, seeing movies on it on YouTube and on our Tubi and stuff. So yes, that was wonderful. Me and John talking about the Christmas list with bubblegum money. See, I had to miss all of that, but girl needs her meds, right? So I had to talk to my doctor. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Sexy fruit roll-ups. Well, instead of, roll up nylons, you can roll up fruit, fruit roll-ups, instead of rolling them off, you can just eat them off. But, I couldn't resist. I'm going to show everybody really quick. Hey, Dina. It wasn't nothing spectacular, but this is the picture. Here's Allyson in the back. Really quick, I had to do the turkey with a teddy. So that's what I said to Karen to cheer her up and everything. Oh, so any better? Uh-oh. Now she's completely frozen. Oh Allyson, come back to us. Oh, yeah, she says between me and her, she sees me going dark and then I see her going dark. So,
Yeah, I might just have to skip it, you guys.
so really quick though, Jay had a comment. She goes, Allyson, I love your expressions. They're priceless. So she wanted to share that. And hello, Miss Nancy just popped in. Hello, hello. Dina has joined
And
us.
I do wear my heart on my sleeve. I always have.
Yes. And let's see. And Rob Bell joined us. Hello, Rob. So, alrighty. Now you're perfectly clear. Now if we could just keep you like that. So, alrighty. So everybody, how was everyone's week? Anything you want to share, Allyson? Because I really haven't talked to you much this week, girl. Anything you want to share that was?
I had Tuesday off, right? Most people did, or I shouldn't say that. A lot of people did. I'm in Michigan, and at least in the area where I am, they hold the elections at all the public schools. So there's, if for no other reason, there's no, what else? I did a lot of baking. I made a couple different kinds of cookies for my man, so he can keep in the freezer. Yes, he always has cookie dough balls in the freezer. We're trying to get all the seed oil out of his life. He likes cookies and treats and crap like that. So no packaged. So
and Jay says badness on the bus lately still. She remembers last week, so Jay was
on the
bus
lately still. No. That was kind of, thank God, that was kind of an isolated incident. He's been a lot better. I think I might have mentioned that I have two boys that are like out of, and I can't complain, man. I got a whole busload of middle schoolers. I only have two boys that are kind of a lot. And it's just the volume of their voices and whatever. And it's so funny you asked, because one of them, not the one that got kicked off for a few days, but the other one today, I don't know what, if he had Pop-Tarts for lunch or what his deal was, but he was being all extra loud and obnoxious and whatever. And I actually, for the first time, spoke to him today when he got off the bus. I told him I was going to request them go through the tape time frame, and he's got to knock it off. But that's about no fruit slinging. And the one, he's probably not going to do anything for a while. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think he was a little embarrassed about getting booted off for a while because everybody knew.
No, stay down. Sorry.
Every delivery. I made him oatmeal chocolate chip with walnuts and snickerdoodles.
Oh.
And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to make him peanut butter cookies with chocolate chips. So he'll have 3 different kinds for the freezer.
That sounds yummy. We actually bought some
I don't eat any of that stuff, but he loves it.
Oh, me too. And oh, look who's here. Hello, Tom. Good to see you. Fridays are ice cream day at my son's school. That's fun. I remember those good old days at school when we were kids.
My man, on Fridays, they've always had Donut Friday. So they get donuts on Friday mornings. And so they've eliminated that because, again, he's completely cut out all seed oils. So, and donuts are, they're fried and that stuff. So that's out.
Miss Taro D says your cookies sound amazing. I think that's what she meant.
Thank you.
And hello, Carolyn. Again, good to see you.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hello. So did you and Karen figure out maybe who this person was? Because during Karen's live today, Carolyn was asking Karen about a male spirit that's around her. and he actually sings her to sleep, and sometimes Peter can hear them. And I guess the spirit is cloaking himself from, Carolyn being able to figure out who they are. Say bye bye, everybody, because I'm not behaving. All righty. So, and Karen was pulling
He's
cards
like, that's
and
your
trinkets
opinion.
and stuff. Yeah. Well, he kept digging at this, and if I let him do that, he was just going to pull everything right off. And yep, there goes the whole show right there. So, hello, Judith. Good to see you. Isadora. Hello, my dear. Bye, Katie. Yeah, well, Kristen, if he would behave, you know. I don't have a naughty corner for the kitty like I
Is
can,
he, what is he doing? Is he kneading on your lap?
Yeah, he wants to be on the table. He wants to be center of attention. He gets his nails. He digs it into either me or on my placemat, especially the one that you made for me.
So he's kneading, right?
Well, he just kind of wants to pull, and he wants me to pet him. He licks my arm. He licks my hand. He pushes. So yeah, he's
right. He's not trying to be a lot. He's just, it's not compatible with what we're doing right now.
Yeah, well,
which I get it. Yes, no, I get
he's
it.
A camera
it's not like he's being bad. He's just actually probably. Yeah, anyway, yeah.
I mean,
anybody has cats, you already know. I don't need to explain.
Yes, I wish I could. Heather says the same thing to early ritual before she puts him in a timeout. Oh yes, so it's fun. Tom and Miss Tarot D are now in the chat. So this is going to be interesting. So does anybody have anything of interest that you want Allyson and I to pull on tonight or talk about? And Kristen says, Tom is handsome, now go stand in the corner. Tom is a sassy curmudgeon. He's our sassy curmudgeon. I know some people in the, like Amanda likes to call him handsome Tom. For me, he's sassy curmudgeon Tom. He's always sassy with me. You're not on a lot to see it, but Allyson, but Tom likes to pick on me. But like
I've caught a couple of remarks here and there. I gathered as much. Yeah.
So you better behave, Tom, when you come on. I was gonna say, or I could stick my. Well, Allyson is a little older than me, so technically she could be an older sister. So I could stick her on you on the live show. Am
I old enough to be your older sister?
By a few months.
I guess technically,
because I'm not going to be 54. Yeah, I mean, so I'm not going to be 54.
I mean, boom! If you got right to business immediately, which you're not supposed to do, but it does happen. Yeah.
Never. All lies. Yeah, right. And Carolyn figured out who it. Oh, she was able to figure it out.
What is how old's Tom? Sorry, Tom. How old's Tom?
Tom, you just had a birthday, so you are now 52, my friend, right? I think, because I know I'm like by a year or two. Oh, you're 48.
I knew he was right in the neighborhood.
So
he's not 48.
Ramon's in his 50s.
Is he 48?
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom. Is he 48?
Yeah.
Okay. So
my bad, Tom.
Oh yeah, I could be your much older sister. I'm 50. I'm gonna be 55 in March, y'all. That's fucking crazy.
I'm gonna be 54 in December.
That is crazy.
Oh, Miss Kelly says this pot is being stirred. Yeah, and Tom's going to lick the spoon when we're done. So stay tuned for that.
I cannot believe that. That's crazy.
I know it. Tom's got a baby face, But it's Ramon that's in the 50s. But yeah, they're still both little bros. And let me just back up here.
My man, when he shaves, he looks like such a baby. He really does. He's got a baby face, like big time. Yeah. I'm older than him. Almost 3 years, but still, it's like he looks. I still think I look younger than him, but he looks he just, you know what I mean? Just, baby face. Mm-hmm. Yep. And
So
he's got really deep dimples.
I've
So
seen pictures
cute.
of him,
Ridiculous.
guys, and he's a cutie. Allison,
He's
that's
very
her
cute.
a real cute.
He's got gorgeous teeth. He's got like the best
Nice
teeth, but he's got
chest,
dimples. So
nice
cute.
arms.
So
Hmm.
cute.
And
I'm not biased at all. So
no, of course not. Carolyn said, yes, it was Harry, and he came to introduce our son from a previous life to me. It is his first son, Zach, in this life, who passed a year ago. Okay, so I couldn't stay for the rest of the whole show, but I'm glad you were able to figure out who it was. That's awesome, Carolyn. Nice, nice. And then let's see. Wait, did Heather just insult Allison on the live calling her old? I said my older sister. I didn't say she was old. She's older.
it's all good. I'm the
She's
one always talking about how old I am and when my birthday is and everything else.
spoon liquor.
Spoon liquor.
Oh my God. You got to join us some night. And let's see. Ramon is the blood countess. Yes, he is. That oh, I don't think you've seen this deck that Nancy gifted me this summer, or actually this summer, a couple of months ago. Well, it came right after the hurricane, and it's another Vixen deck, and it's called the Obsidian Veil. And it has to do with, goddesses, it's like another like shadow deck. And he does it in the dark style, but he also includes women that actually lived, like they have Santa Lucia, Catherine de Medici, Elizabeth the First, and there's this woman called something Countess, and she used to actually
Is it Italian?
it was actually killed. She would kill. Oh, she's right here. The book is right here. She would actually murder her servants and certain people and bathe in their blood
Their
to make her
blood.
live longer. I'm trying to remember what her name is. Where is it in here? But it's really cool. Marie Laveau is in here. Santa Marte is in here. Mary Magdalene is in here. Hildegard von Bingen is here. Either Mother Virgin Mary's in here. People I've never even heard of. Elizabeth Bathory, I believe, was her name. And she should be the one. Yes, she was Elizabeth Bathory, also known as the Blood Countess, was a Hungarian noblewoman born in 1560.
Is
It was
that where
alleged.
Bath comes from?
I don't know. It doesn't say in here, but according to this, it was alleged that Elizabeth engaged in sadistic acts, which is no surprise why Tom knows who she is, particularly against young girls and servant women. She was accused of torturing and killing numerous victims, often bathing in and even drinking their blood in the hopes of acquiring eternal youth.
Ew. Gross.
So this is interesting, though.
Did you say drinking?
Bathing it
Oh,
allegedly.
that's fucking gross.
And
Ugh.
it says here, well, there's still some people to this day who are in vampire cults that allow each other to cut and
Gross.
drink each other's blood.
Gross.
So
You'll vomit that up. You can't do that and hold that down.
well, not drink.
You can
but
have small amounts of blood because we eat blood and meat, but like to just cope, just to be drinking blood, you can't. No.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm sure they do, but I'm sure there's a lot of vomiting that goes on, honestly.
Well, I know that Michelle Bellinger, she's a well-known psychic medium. She's a part of a, I don't know if they prefer to be called cults, but she's with a group where everything is, I guess it's very controlled. It's all about trust, and they have things in place to make sure that people are healthy, they stay healthy, and they find that it's a strong spiritual connection and bond when they share each other's blood. Whether by cutting, and having them, lick it off. It's supposed to.
I'm sorry, you got to fucking screw loose if you're doing shit like that. You can call it all you want, but that's just fucking nuts.
Yeah, Michelle Bellinger from Paranormal State, and she still does work with Katrina Weidman, and she's an amazing psychic.
Sorry. That's loony bin though.
Yeah, people who find BDS.
Sorry.
These are for the people who find BDSM too boring. Oh boy. Carolyn, what are your thoughts on that? Elizabeth's actions eventually got her arrested and put on trial. Due to her title, she was not sentenced to death, but rather imprisoned within the walls of her castle. She lived the remainder of her life in solitary confinement until her death in 1614. So she got to live her life out in her castle.
She probably didn't even give a shit.
Well, they tried her.
Force me to stay home. I can't go anywhere. I'm really not going to care. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, this was just the woman that we were just talking about. Is that in Transylvania? It's in Hungary. So I don't know if that's the same Hungarian noblewoman, Carolyn. But Carolyn, what do you think? I mean, I kind of go, oh, with the vampire, things and stuff. And, I try to give everybody their, because I guess people are vetted. They make sure that people don't have HIV or they don't have hepatitis. It's all done. It's very, close. It's intimate. This isn't apparently willy-nilly. But still, for me, something like that kind of just, I don't know. It's
Did they say what the whole point is? Like, what's the
I don't
point?
know. Tom, do you know? And Tom's going to be like, "What are you asking me?"
What's the objective there?
So Kathy Bates plays her in the American Horror Story series. Oh, so Kathy Bates, they did something based on the Countess. Wow. So Kristen says some historians argue these were stories created about her in order to smear the name of a powerful woman. Oh, want to pull cards on her?
Sure.
Well, you guys,
because that very well, like as soon as I read those words, yeah.
Let's see.
Just like the witch trials, you know what I mean? Just you just say some crazy outlandish shit just to spin your narrative on whatever it is. Not that that's the same thing. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? It's just,
Tom says, I read a book on her like 25 years ago. And Kristen says, I think bath comes from the Roman baths. I don't know. I know there's a bath in England. So maybe when settlers came over from America, that's why because I know there's a lot of European names that they use for.
I just asked because of the name. Actually, that name on her probably isn't even her real name. And that bath is just part of, because of the whole, you know what I mean? That's kind of, I don't know, whatever.
And Kristen says it's seen as an intimate act, the transfer of life force. Yes, thank you, Kristen. That's the blood sharing.
Right. So is sharing of saliva or.
So it's considered an intimate act for some. It's a transfer of life.
Any bodily fluid, right? And there's several. Take your pick.
Let's see. Did she die from lack of blood? I think it's part of a sexual illness. No, I think she just died. It didn't say here in the book, in Vixen's book.
So what is this chick's name?
So let me pull her up again. This is going to be interesting. Where's the book? Oh, it's right there. So hello, Fatima. Hello, how are you? And let's see. Just really quick here. Yes, I agree. It's like Tom. He has created the narrative that I'm a bitch because he is intimidated by me for being a powerful woman. Miss Tarot D. Well, those two go at it. You know these two. And let's see. So Jay's talking about the blood sharing. There's endorphins released when they do it. And so it gives them a kind of a high. Well, there is something nowadays called adrenochrome.
So when you ejaculate,
where people
I get it. I'm just saying that's disgusting. Like I would never even drink the blood of my man. I ain't doing that. That's gross. I cut myself. I don't even like to lick it off my finger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Miss Tarot D, 100%. Anyone who's not intimidated by your divine femininity is a fucking liar.
Fucking liar.
One of these Friday nights, we got to have these two on together at the same time with us.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Okay, so
Okay.
let me go back. So her name was Elizabeth Bathory, B-A with an apostrophe, Thory. She was Hungarian. She was a Hungarian noblewoman, and she was born in 1560. And we already know the allegations.
Hold on one second, honey. So her name was
Sure.
Elizabeth. Her last name was Bathory.
B-A-Thory.
Okay, she was born in 1560. And where was she from? I'm sorry. Where'd you say? Russia. Hungary.
Hungarian noblewoman.
And then, so what we're reading on is, was she really? Were these allegations about her true, or was she actually just a powerful woman? Basically,
let's find out.
Was she wealthy? She had a castle, right?
Yeah, she was a noblewoman. And it
she was a noblewoman.
She had servants.
Okay.
So Tom would know more. And hello, Amanda.
Are there any? She was in 1560. Yeah, there's probably maybe a drawing of her, but obviously no portraits.
Yeah. I don't know the picture. Let me see if I can find her picture that they used for the card. Let's see. J. Okay. And hello, Amanda. We're reading on a woman. We're wondering if the accusations against her were because she was a rich noblewoman to smear her name, or if it were true. And so this is the woman. This isn't her actual portrait, but this is the art that he used, and her name is Elizabeth Bathory. So I am going to mute myself. That's a painting of her. Okay. And early. Tom's got a picture of her, but I can't pull that up. Hold on a second. I'm going to go silent. Well, that type of style of painting, though, Tom, isn't going to be much of a likeness, but I'll share that with Allyson when she looks up. It was that era, too. You would think, with it being almost the Renaissance. So, what deck am I going to use? I'm going to use the Ghost
I call
Tarot.
bullshit.
So Tom said that this was an actual portrait that was painted of her back in the day. Of course, back then it wasn't quite the Renaissance yet.
They all looked the same when they did those kinds of paintings. Thank you, though. You know what I'm talking about when I say that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they were so, they wouldn't even, be honest about what somebody looked like. Like, if somebody had a really big nose, they wouldn't draw them with that big nose. They'd, give them a different nose.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they had really messed up teeth, they just wouldn't show their messed up teeth. You know what I mean? Interesting. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to say either it was grossly exaggerated. I'm going to say no. I think what it was is I think she was, I don't think she wanted for anything, but I think she was very giving. And she was very invested in whatever it is that she did, which I'm seeing is either she was she was a magician or she was a witch or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
in some sort of way. Whatever this thing was that she did, that she offered, became a burden in some sort of way. I don't know if she had jealousy or what. I don't know. And then this tower came in and it was very celebrated what they did to her. But she's coming up as Temperance.
I got Temperance too.
Yeah, this is her.
I think. Or no, I got the Star card. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the Ghost Tarot and it's a different artwork. I got the Star. I thought that was Temperance. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think so. I got the Sun card because she was successful. And it's interesting with the two children being hidden behind the curtain. Well, it's a castle. So I'm wondering if she had some sort of illness where she had to stay out of the sun and couldn't be in the sun very much. But I did get the Sun card, which is positive energy. It can be very loving energy. I also got the Star card, and the Star is about the hopes. To me, it feels very much too like a combination between Temperance and Star on this one here. So I'm feeling the similar energies. But to me, it's that balance. It's that Star wishing, that she had, maybe her health had been better. But what I found interesting was I got, and they're all so far, except for two others that I pulled, the first main three were all trump cards, were all major arcana cards. And I got the Devil. So they were making her out to be the devil, the addictions. And then when I asked again, I did get the Eight of Swords. So it's almost kind of like, she was imprisoned. This typically is supposed to be you create your own prison. But then I also got the two of oh, wait a minute, what's this here? Oh, I got the High Priestess. I'm still getting used to this deck, y'all, with the Ghost Tarot. So intuitively, wisdom. Yeah, she was bound by whatever this was. It was, to me, I'm feeling like it was an illness that caused her to, maybe she needed, to have something. Maybe that was part of the back in the day, how they had all different weird remedies, leeches on bodies, or taking out, to cure people from being exorcism. They would try to drain people of their blood and then try to feed that. I mean, you just never know. But I don't see anything here that was intentional. Did you get any more cards?
No, that was the spread that I did.
Okay.
So what was the question that you asked? I think you asked something different than I did.
No, I just asked if Elizabeth Bathory was guilty of being accused of murdering, her servants and young women too. And like I said, that last card, she was being made to be out like the devil, but that sword, so that Eight of Swords is usually, a self-imposed bond, in imprisonment.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I don't know why I would get that for her. That could represent her being, locked up in her castle. And let's see. Hello, Chris. Ghost. Oh my God, Chris. What time is it over there? In Scotland. It's got to be late. Then I got the Seven of Cups. Here, I'm going to. Here, let me reshuffle. And so let me grab a different deck. I'm still learning the Ghost Tarot. Let me grab my Artist Decoded. Queen of Pentacles just jumped out. Okay, so I'm asking, was Queen, not Queen, was she Queen? Did I just say she was Queen? Was Elizabeth Bathory, the Hungarian noblewoman, was she guilty of torturing and killing victims and drinking their blood? That's what I'm going to ask. I just grabbed a different deck because I'm still getting used to that Ghost Tarot. It's still a bit different for me. I am a Viper in Wonder of the Night. Eight of Cups. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
So for me, just really quickly, this being her, I think that because of how I asked it, to me, this is very much just no. She was very balanced. She was, and based on all the other cards, I think she had, I don't know, and I'll pull on this. I feel like she had some either people that were jealous of her, or somebody didn't like her, or maybe it was she was smeared.
Yep, judgment card. She was judged. To me, I got the Six of Pentacles. I feel like she was very giving. She was very charitable.
Yeah, it's one of the first cards that I had out.
Was the Six of Pentacles?
Yes.
I also got the Queen of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, and then the King of Pentacles. It's interesting how those two, yeah, she was Queen of Pentacles. She was, nurturing. She was earthy. She was grounded. She was financially well off, well to do.
Nine of Cups. Yeah, somebody had it out for her. They wanted to. Sorry if you guys can hear that. That's Scout in there.
Oh, Miss Tarot D, getting all excited now. Ooh, Scout's around.
He's in there trying to hawk up some of his food.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, I am now convinced, just quick detour, he can't eat chicken. He's got a thing with chicken. Aww. No more chicken for him. Yeah.
I also got the Eight of Cups.
No more chicken.
So, and that's walking away, wanting to do something new with life. That's interesting, because then I got the Knight of Pentacles, which is, it doesn't say anything about her husband, a nobleman, but
she was married.
I don't know. There's nothing in the book here that states that. Tom, was she married? Because I got the Knight of Pentacles, and when I asked to clarify that, I got the Lover's card. So I am wondering if, her name was smeared by either a husband or another. Because back then, really, women weren't really allowed to own property. So this might have been a husband. But the Lover's card. Ooh, I'm intrigued. She was married multiple times, Kristen said. Oh, okay. So that King of Pentacles could very well be.
Say that again. Yeah. What did she say?
Kristen said she was married multiple times, and apparently she had a seizure disorder. Interesting. Whoa. Nope, that's too many cards.
You know what could be? I mean, I don't know. She could have been doing something, unique for the time, and somebody cast some sort of, weird everybody was.
Yeah. Ooh,
right.
She's a witch. Yeah.
I mean, just like, oh shit, whoa, and you just say some crazy ass shit, because what she was doing something that you don't think is the way to be, and then they start talking crap. Yeah, there's always been nosy Nancy's for forever. And I got the Ace of Swords flew out as soon as I said all of that. That's what was going on. She was smeared.
Yeah, and I got 10 of Wands, so I think her health was just so oppressive. She was extremely burdened.
10 of Wands.
Okay.
But my 10 of Wands was on the 7 of Pentacles. So what she was investing in, right?
See, I had 2 of Pentacles, so she was trying to balance her health, trying to balance.
Which is what created the Tower, and then there was a celebration for it, as in against her. But she was just trying to come into balance, temperance.
She was married off at age 13, Kristen said. Oh, good Lord.
Very common at the time. That's, as soon as you started menstruating, of course, back to, well, I'm getting off topic.
And Karen got Knight of Wands character was to blame, she believes. She pulled a Knight of Wands.
I got the Knight of Pentacles just a second ago.
8 of Pentacles. Ace of Cups.
Of course, I don't know what 13. The farther back you go, the older women were when they physically became women. It was more like 18 years old around that time, which is interesting. Fun fact.
Let's see. Karen says, oh, she got the 2 of Pentacles too. I got 2 of Pentacles. I got that could be juggling lovers. It could be. It could be juggling finances,
depending on the other cards.
Mm-hmm. And somebody, Judith, said something here that was very interesting. She was either, was she really married several times, or was she passed around several times? And back then, women were their husband, the girls were their
So,
properties of their fathers and their husbands.
yeah, but you're not really going to, no, not when you're noble. No, because then you're
Oh,
just throwing away your investment. No,
see, I
not
don't
in a
know how to
noble
pronounce
family.
this guy's name, so I'm just going to say Georgie Thurzo maybe started the rumors as a power play to take control of her estate that was willed to her by her husband. Tom, that could be the King of
Very
Pentacles
well
that I
could be.
got. And he was the other person in charge of the estate and also the person leading the investigation.
Well, there
So
you
there
go.
you go. So yeah. And noble women were often married off young. Yes, Miss Terrell. I got to close the window. Hold on a second. I'm not.
Yep.
Well, that was
Very young, often before they were even old enough to, yeah.
As part of prosperity agreements. Yeah. And Karen's pulling cards over there.
That's
My
where
cards.
marriage came from and why it even, right, to secure your,
Let's see. Karen says, yeah, my cards: Moon, Secrets and Shadows, Seven of Swords, Nine of Wands, Ten of Swords, Ace of Wands. Wow. Yeah, she went through hell. Dark times indeed. That's probably why they didn't even though they convicted her, they didn't put her to death, because they knew that she
and
really
think
wasn't
about
doing it.
how outlandish and crazy
Yeah.
those rumors are.
I'm just going to.
Not that it couldn't happen. I mean, we know that those things do happen, but just to have just this woman and this is what she was doing, come on. No, I don't think so.
Yeah. The Hermit. She had to live the rest of her life as a hermit. And I got the Seven of Swords. So yeah, her freedom was stolen from her. So the rest of her life, that's the message for me. And let's see, that's Miss Tarot D. Yes, I old, so I remember those days back in the Middle Ages. I was married at age 11. Miss Tarot D. And I know you're not laughing, Karen. They still do that to this day, though, no matter your nobility. Yep, they still do that in the world today, with a lot of people, that have the nobility and have, the countries where, arranged marriages. It still goes on. That's why I say, no matter how bad, things may seem to be here, I still prefer to be living in the U.S. as a woman, especially, because at least I'm still at this time free to wear what I want. I can go out without having to
In
cover up.
this lifetime.
I don't have
Yep.
to, so I do count my blessings. Setting up marriages with no passion. Yes, child brides is legal in the United States as well. Yeah, and it shouldn't be. So, yeah, Tom, for now, yeah, we got to stay positive, Tom, that, things are going to turn around. I know it's hard for a lot of people. Allyson and I were talking about this backstage, and we just kind of got to breathe, get grounded, try to stay positive, and just, keep moving forward. And
You have to.
so there are some children in the U.S. who are married off young, unfortunately. Yeah, and some do get caught. I know the Mormons do that a lot. There was a show on TV called Sister Wives, and I was just like, ugh. But for some people, this is their norm. This is the way they're raised. So, um, and Tom says, no, stay angry. It's more fun. No, it makes me feel more sick, Tom. But I get what you're saying. Um, So yeah, let me put these cards down. But that was interesting. I just love that getting inspired on, reading about her. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of interesting, for people, Mother Mary. There's Mother Mary. And in here though, what's interesting is for Mary Magdalene, he shows how she was treated by the uh, the Catholic Church later on, and I know it might be unsettling for some people, but it shows her, she's got bruises. It looks like she's got scrapes on her body. But that's what happens when you get dragged through the mud, and your name and your of who you are. I didn't realize how turned around this is. Here, let me find. Lilith is in here. That's pretty cool. I think this is a deck you would like, Allison, because it's got a lot of dark, and it's got some skulls in here, and there's the Medusa. There's the Medusa card.
I'm just not into all of the like goddess stuff and like not even so much that like stuff that's not even the word I'm looking for. Like
Antoinette. But where is? Oh, that's weird. Now I don't see her. All right.
Like stories. Mythical. They're mythical creatures.
Gotcha. Lilith is my new patron goddess. Really, Kristen Louise? Totally out of left field. Yeah, because you've been working with your Nordic ancestry for quite some time now, and you got Lilith. Wow. But Lilith is, well, Kristen, you embrace your sexuality. You're very
Kristen's Nordic. My man's Nordic.
And so I can see why Lilith would be, because she was, in touch with her sexuality, her power, her femininity. And so I can definitely see that as well. So yeah, I found out ancestry too. I think it was like 6% Norwegian or Scandinavian. I'm like, okay. And let's see. Kristen Louise, oh, don't we not look going? Oh, they're still talking about yeah. And I feel really pulled to marry. Oh, that's sweet. Let's see. I'm ordering that Mary book by Megan Watterson. I don't think I've heard of that. Don't think I got it right. But still, after I read it, I love to join you and Nancy sometime to discuss. Oh, yes, Karen. And if you are also, drawn to Mother Mary, I don't know if you've seen this book, but this is the author who wrote Women Who Run with Wolves. And she came out with this book about 5 years ago, I think it was. And I read through it here and there, and it's different stories and experiences of people from around the world that work with Mother Mary from all cultures. So that might be something you would be interested in too, sweetheart. I haven't. And because right now I'm going towards working more with the Morgan, but also the Way of the Rose, and so it's like a different, like it says here, the radical path of divine feminine hidden in the rosary. So that might be too something you might be interested in.
So Mary is different though. To me, I think like she existed.
Hi,
she was here. Yeah. She walked on this earth, and she's a huge energy and somebody that you can work with and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Not that it matters what I'm just saying. Like, it's like, yeah, she's a little different. That's a very powerful, real energy, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think she was a lot more stronger. There's another book that I have, Karen. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's man speak.
Yeah, so I know I
man
mentioned
as
this book
in
before.
Male.
Yeah.
Talk. Bullshit. Yeah.
So Karen, if you're open-minded, I haven't gotten to read this yet. But this book here, Marguerite Mary Riglioso. She's a PhD. She's been studying the Bible and the mystery traditions, especially of the priestesses in the back. A lot of people think that Mary Magdalene, the women back then were actually, all these Mary names was a form of like a connection to a goddess, a priestess, a high priestess group. And some women, she believes that you can find some of this in the Bible, and through her understanding and scholarly studies, that some women have been able to give birth. I mean, it's happened, in our modern times, from what I understand, that some women can um, um, become pregnant without male intervention. There's some women's bodies who can generate a child on their own, and they call it the immaculate conceptions. Things like that. The church aren't too happy about, and they keep hush hush. But she goes and she does research, and it's called the Mystery Tradition of Miraculous Conception, Mary and the Lineage of Virgin Births. So this kind of goes with a lot of the virgin tales of Mary, of all these other goddesses, and kind of carries the idea that there are women that in the past, and today as well, but in the past, who learned how to um, use the power of their bodies, and they're able to create children, um, create a baby without the need of a man. And so I find that very interesting. And that may be one of the ways that Christ was brought into the world, hence, the Immaculate
What is
Conception.
that
So
called? I'm sorry. Sorry. What is that called?
the Mystery
The
Tradition
mystery
of
tradition
Miraculous
of
Conception.
miraculous conception.
I know you're not going to
So
probably like this book.
is that about how Mary was just magically pregnant?
Not magically, but she was able to induce it herself. It was a practice, or a thing that women back then knew how to practice. I mean, there's some women, you know, that are able to or have been noted, in our life. I think it was our lifetime where it has been able to happen, where women have become pregnant without.
Without a
So I'm
penis?
yeah. I don't,
I mean, yes,
I
you
don't
can
know.
have there's
I don't know. She did a lot of
procedures.
research.
That's not what you're talking about. So like prayer or whatever, is that what you mean?
It says here, I'm just going to read the back of this. So it says here, delving into one of the Virgin Mary's forgotten Gospels, the Infancy Gospel of James, Marguerite Mary Riglioso, PhD, reveals a truth that has been suppressed for nearly 2 millennia, that Mother Mary was not a passive bystander to her own pregnancy, but an advanced member of a sacred order of women trained in divine conception. Unlocking the hidden codes of Mary's Gospel and other ancient source texts, the author reveals how Mary conceived Jesus through a careful process that she willed and initiated. She explains how Mary was born into a family of powerful priestesses, women who possessed, cultivated, and passed on the ability to consciously conceive elevated beings to help the planet. This lineage includes Mary's own mother, Anne, who conceived Mary with this method, her relative Elizabeth, mother of John the Baptist, and the biblical matriarch Sarah, the wife of Abraham and mother of Isaac. These women were schooled in the shamanic womb mysteries, secret knowledge of the capacity of the womb. Decoding the Infancy Gospel of James, the author shows how Mary was trained and initiated, reveals the esoteric techniques she used to conceive Jesus, and explores the birth itself and the mind altering reality that accompanied it. By revealing the Virgin Mary as a trained holy woman and a conscious actor in the conception of Jesus, the author corrects the impression we have been given of a passive and bewildered girl who had no idea how or why she was pregnant. She was also, no, wait a minute. She also restores she also restores Mary as the empowered feminine orchestrator of these significant events, paralleling the redemption of Mary Magdalene in recent years. Explaining how and why virgin birth was accomplished, this book allows us to make sense of miraculous conception and reveals the power that lies in all women's wombs. So that's the description on the back for this book. So I haven't gotten to reading it because I've had so many books that I've been wanting to read. So I need to focus on that. And this is not me saying that this is true. This is just me sharing with the author. For me, I think it's possible. I can, and this is not us, knocking the men, Tom. I just want to let you know. Well, Tom says if you actually believed he existed. Come on, Tom. One way or the other,
I believed in who existed.
Jesus.
Oh God.
It was all natural, my pregnancy. There is mother Mary, and the other Mary's was Lazarus' sister. So isn't she? Well, Jace, I can't remember who said that, but someone was saying that Kamala was supposed to be
Probably
Mary
many times
reincarnated.
by now.
Yeah, but I doubt it's Kamala. I can't remember who,
Oh
said that,
God.
and I mean no disrespect, but I don't know. And Karen says, I feel like me getting pregnant at age 42 with twins was pretty miraculous. An accident, but I relate with that impossible type of idea. Um, so yeah, I know this isn't going to go over with everybody, and I probably just lost a lot of people here in chat. Um, Let me see. Let's see, which Mary are we talking about? There were three main Marys talked about in the Gospels. All three had powerful backstories. Um, Marguerite Riglioso is referring to a gospel that they suppress, that they don't talk about, called the infancy Gospel of James. Is where I guess she got a lot of her information. So at some point, I really want to read this and take a look. I don't know if I'm going to believe in it, but there are some animals that are able to do that. Um, there have been certain accounts from, I remember when I was younger, where women have become pregnant, and they're scared because they don't know how it happened, because they weren't touched or anything. So who knows? I mean, who's to say that it's not possible? um, Tom says there is literally no proof. Okay.
The thing is,
Oh, we lost it.
about all this stuff, it was so damn long ago.
Mm.
It's all just stories at this point. We don't know until you're dead.
Yeah.
There's no knowing so many things when there's not. It's too long ago. There was no real record of so many of these things, and it's just like a big telephone game, right? As it gets passed down and passed down and passed down. Like the Bible, we know from professionals that analyze readings, and I know I've probably at least once mentioned this, maybe not, I don't know. The Bible was written by
Amen.
Was it 6 or 8 different people were involved
Council of Nicaea
in the writing? And I'm not even talking about like all the different versions of the Bible, because there's a zillion of them, but just like the Bible in general, because different styles of writing and this and that, whatever. It was written by men. It was written by regular people, men, males, not females. Females most certainly weren't involved in writing any of the Bible.
So yeah,
and I think that there is some truth in there, and I think most of it is just, sorry guys if anybody's offended, and I don't mean to be offensive, but it's very fictional, the whole thing. It was written to control. It was a governmental tool, if you will. But I'm sure there's a lot of truth in there, but it's also full of, lessons and, also control and, fear and damnation and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just, that's what it is. And if you don't believe it, well, then whatever. Yeah.
So
they're
all having the conversation.
Was a prophet. He, but like the details don't. And all the book.
I believe he lived. So did Mary Magdalene. I believe they had kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. So. I do too. But beyond that, when you're getting into real details.
Let's see. Joseph, this Jewish philosopher, alludes to him. So yeah, they're all sharing information. And Tom's still not buying it. Well, that's
Tom doesn't believe anything.
Yeah, that's our Tom. He's on his path, his spiritual path, like all of us are.
What did he say? Joseph was born several years Josephus was born several years after the alleged crucifixion. So there's a timeline issue. And how do we know that?
Well, Kristen said Josephus, which, I don't know who that is, but she says this is a Jewish philosopher, alludes to him along with the letters of Peter, who knew him. That's more temporal than what we have about Alexander the Great. So I guess this is the information. And Tom's like, the closest written records you have are written a generation or two later. But why is it so hard, Tom, to believe that there was such a person? I mean, nowadays we have people, on this earth that, talk about God's love and the divine. I mean, there's just, I don't know. To me, I don't see why it's so hard to believe that there was. It's just not, he was God, he was, a man just like the rest of us, there were records of the stars though. So Jana was talking about the astrology. So interesting how our conversations go. Well, I helped with that one, with that book. I'm trying to catch up here because everyone's having sharing their thoughts. Everyone here has their own beliefs. If we, as the human race, had no beliefs, we would not have made it this far. It's interesting, Judith. So what matters of your belief is hold on to it, whatever you believe. And Tom says, oh yeah, Judith, belief, I am all for. Believe what you want. Jesus is very real for a lot of people, and that's 100% valid. Kristen, Tom, do you believe Alexander the Great didn't exist? The documents we have about him are a generation or two after his life. Let's see. Jay says, I think there's something wrong with the internet. Keeps cutting out. Got to restart. So maybe we'll see you back. And Karen says, I believe it was more of a metaphor. And Judith says, Allyson, I hear what you are saying and totally agree regarding control, fear of, and damnation. Yeah. And Jesus was a rabbinical Jew with apocalyptic messaging that got him killed. Now, some people think that he didn't die, that some people thought that he did die. And then when they took him down, he was actually set aside where he was nurtured back to health. And they were able to get him, Mary, out of Dodge, because she was pregnant. So whether or not he actually did die or not, for me, I feel like he didn't. I don't know if that's me being a hopeless, not hopeless romantic, but for somebody who always wants a happy ending. I don't know if that's that, that's why I feel that, but I just feel like there's just something that tells you right there, being sealed away, being wrapped up 3 days, people coming to get you and then being seen. I just wondering if they were able to, because of herbs and him being, understanding healing and whatnot, that they were able to actually save him.
And Mary, hello.
Yeah.
So
and Enoch, I don't know. Go ahead.
So I don't even know I should bring this up, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it up since we're talking about fanciful things. So Sylvia Brown,
Okay.
consider the source.
Mm-hmm.
Some people loved her, some people hated her. I think she was a really good psychic at one time, and then I think she got kind of full of herself and kind of grouchy and old and just kind of whatever and whatever. But again, consider the source. She wrote a book where supposedly she, through the help of her guide Francine, which is who she channeled all of her information from, she wrote a book. I have it. I'll go grab it in a minute. And I believe it was called The Mystical Life of Jesus Christ. Her theory, and I read this book years ago, and I don't remember all of it because it was so long ago, but again, I do have the book. I should read it again. It's a quick read, but it's very interesting. And I'm not saying this is true or that it even happened, so I'll nutshell it from what I can remember. Again, I read it years ago. My son was quite small when I read it. She says that he did not die on the cross. They took him down, and he was taken to a close location and kept private with just a couple of his very close people and Mary. He was nursed to health, and then they traveled by night and got him the hell out of there. And that he actually lived to be fairly old. They traveled, I can't remember, they traveled to somewhere and kept doing what they'd been doing, which was spreading the word of God and whatever. And they had more children, and they just kind of lived a regular life. But he was still Jesus in that time, and he was a prophet and all this kind of stuff. And it was not the that it was written to be, and the whole, we all know to some degree the story. And I'm not saying that's what really happened, but that's what she was saying. It did feel true when I was reading it to some degree. And for whatever that means, you guys, I mean, I go with my gut when I hear stuff, when I see stuff, when I read stuff. It's like, that's my bullshit meter, right? Just in life. And I think that's a truer reality of what probably happened than what the book says. The book, not this book that I'm talking about, like the Bible book, the story book. Yeah.
So some things that Tom was sharing, the stories attributed to him can mostly be referenced back to earlier deities and stories. Yes, so there's a lot of recycling of information.
Agreed.
I understand that. So I just take issue with the difference between objective reality and subjective reality. So I just wanted to share that. And Kristen says, I got a master's in Christian theology. That's right. I forgot about that. And I still came out not believing. Wow. So many beautiful aspects to the religion, but it's a beautiful myth.
Yep.
Wow, Kristen.
Yep. Oh. That book also said, Terrell hated me. We met on Montel. Oh, interesting.
Really?
Actually, I have more to say about her, but I'll just make this one comment. She said in that book that Jesus, Mary, they were very much his Mary. They were very much in love. And they had children, and they were, they were a couple. And then she also said that the other Mary and Joseph were married, and they just had a baby. They just had a baby. And there was a big age difference and whatever. And they were, they were married. They loved each other. They had sex, and they had a baby.
Yeah.
Who went on to be, and there was stuff involved, he was a prophet, but it was probably destined and the stars are aligned or blah, 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 or whatever. But it wasn't not to whatever, whatever, but just that it wasn't immaculate conception or whatever. according to her. And it always just seemed, maybe it's even what Heather was saying, I don't know, but it always just seemed like the story that's told in the book about the whole, and then God or whatever put the baby in her, and no, no. I'd sooner believe what Heather was just telling us than that. That sounds like some made up whatever, which is exactly what it is, from some men that are trying to control some, and make her, she's so untouched and she's so clean, and because it's so bad and nasty to have a penis in you. Oh my God, that's just horrifying. Woo! Hello, that's how we friggin' reproduce. It's just so, God, I just can't.
So we have somebody new joining us in chat. Seashells, hello, welcome. And I think she's referring to you. She is telling the truth. He did not die on the cross. He was in meditation techniques he learned from the monks.
Or
he
that.
was found in the chamber, and his form did change as he continued as in new life. So welcome, Seashells. And Miss Tarot D said, okay, another perspective. Since extraterrestrials have been among us forever, could Jesus have been an ET, and that's why he was able to perform miracles? It's possible.
I don't know if he did perform miracles. I'm not saying he didn't. I just think that I think he did have some divine intervention for sure. Again, he was a prophet, but like him all walking on water and all that stuff, that didn't happen.
Yep, it's all wrapped in the purity thing. Yes.
Right. It's just this whole, it's just, oh my God.
Yeah. And again, like Fatima, she's a Catholic. She has her beliefs. And like she was saying earlier, the most important thing, the message is that we all love each other, and
exactly. And all that stuff. And I'm not talking about her, but in general, it's like you start telling children these stories at a very young age, so that it's just ingrained and believed, and you have this whole, anything you tell a child from a very young age, and it just it takes root, and it's just this, and then you can't even remember when you started believing it, and it's very controlling.
So what Kristen just said here, and now Kristen has a doctorate in Christian theology. And so Kristen says there were no monks back then. Monks came after Christianity started. So I don't know. So maybe that's not true with the monks, but I do believe that in some form, way or the other, I think he did survive. How? I don't know. Allyson, if he had anti-gravity boots, he could have walked on water. That's if he was extraterrestrial, that's true. Lazarus was in a diabetic coma. Okay, well, these are different, but it's interesting how we all have different perspectives. Me, as long as we stay respectful to each other, we can share our ideas and our thoughts. Not sure what book she's getting. And he could have gotten Scotty to beam him up from the tomb. But yeah, I understand the word for swim didn't exist back then. Oh, he floated on water or swam, possibly. We won't know it exactly, Judith. We won't know until we get there. But Miss Tarot D had something for you when you walked away. Allyson. So this is going back to the ET theory. If he had anti-gravity boots, he could have walked on water. So there's the Sylvia Brown book. Okay. And you're muted, Allyson.
I just said true.
Okay. And she said he could have gotten Scotty to beam him up from the tomb. And something
this book is really cool though, because it talks about his childhood too.
It's all about the wording, different language, different way words were used back then. Instead of walking on water, Dina said swim didn't exist back then. So maybe by floating on the water or swimming, that might have been what they were referring to, possibly. And And let's see, chat is really jumping. Yeah, Fatima has every damn right to do whatever religion she wants, and she can believe what she wants, just as Miss Terrell D can worship at the altar of Sasha Colby. Oh my goodness. At Kristen Louise, Miss Terrell D said, they say he studied in India and could have learned to meditate by the yogi there. I don't know. Ramon, you live. Where have you been, my friend? Our friend. Good to see you. Ramon, the blood countess has arrived. Ramon's a long story. You have to watch replay, or I'll tell you later with a text message. Um, okay, so I think I'm pretty much caught up. So, oh, we met. Tom has something to say. Allyson went down a notch in my book tonight. Sylvia Brown. Oh,
Did you hear what I
Tom.
said before I said all that, Tom? You smart ass.
Sassy pants, smart ass. Let's see. I mean,
I
there were
will
some
say
things.
this about her. Again, I already said, yep, she went off the deep end and blah, 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 whatever. I saw her. I met her twice. I went on 2 of her cruises to Mexico with Hay House and all that. This was in like 2003 and I'm going to say 2006 probably. But anyways, she was a good psychic. I mean, I saw her, you know, I mean, there was, she gave some readings with people, you know, and she was just dead on. So she was good, but she also, yeah, she ended up going sideways. She wrote too many damn books and she got too, I think she just got too smart or too full of herself. I think her gifts were taken away is what I think ended up happening, honestly. Yeah.
And Ramon says, funny how folks talk smack of Jesus until their iPhone's swimming in the toilet. Then it's, help me, Lord. Oh, and let's see.
Not me. I go to the archangels for everything.
That's
how
I
know
it
what you're
all
talking
started. About. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Tom. That's how this all started. Let's see. So
I'm going to read this book again.
And Dina says, beyond shamanism of the Native Americans, specifically Hinduism, I find very fascinating. To me, I shut down when I hear about the Hindu. To me, there's been absolutely no connection for me. But when I start hearing about some of the Sumerian, the early Middle Eastern, the Celtic, that's where I really start to resonate. Kristen says, when my phone swims in a toilet, I call out to Odin. That's awesome. Or Kristen, you can add, Lilith, help me. Tom says, I call out to Aquaman. Oh my God, Tom. So if your Tom's toilet falls into a phone, yeah. If Tom's phone falls into a toilet, he calls on Aquaman. That's funny. Let's see. She had a good team and was so Allyson, Tom, this is another perspective of Tom's on Sylvia Brown. She had a good team and was a good cold reader. What do you think? Because you met her personally. So do you think she was a really good cold reader and had a good team? Maybe later on, or
her team, I don't know. I mean, the group of people that were around her, a lot of them were her family. Cold reader, yes, that's what I was just said. That's what I described. I mean, she doesn't know those people. It's an audience of 300 people.
So you don't think she was an actual really good psychic in the beginning? She was just a good cold reader, or do you think she actually had? Well, you said she.
I don't understand what you're asking me. I'm sorry.
Well, a cold reader is somebody who doesn't have any psychic abilities and just cold reads people, that there's no psychic ability. And I know you said
that's not my understanding. My understanding is when you read somebody cold is you don't know anything about them.
So, well, a good cold
that's not what you mean. I've never heard that terminology. I think today's
cold reader means is that they'll say certain things and people will show a certain look on their face, or there'll be a body language, and then they'll use those as not triggers, but things to jump on to continue onward. Oh, I don't know how to put it properly.
I think I
And
know what you're talking
leading.
about. I absolutely believe with every ounce of my being that she was a really good reader. And then she wasn't. And she either had her gifts taken away or she wasn't that into it anymore. I don't know why. Couldn't tell you. Really don't even care, honestly. But I absolutely believe she read me amazingly, and I didn't tell her shit. I didn't tell her anything. And then I also saw her read hundreds of people, at least 100 before me. And like I said, I went on 2 separate cruises. I saw her twice, and I saw her read a huge audience. And she didn't know, whatever.
Bye, Jay.
People have their own opinions about Sylvia Browne, and that's fine. I'm not emotionally attached to it.
I
know that she was really good at one time.
With my mother.
Very good.
I used to love watching her. It's like, oh, she's on Montel. Okay, let's.
And people also just love to hate. People just love to hate. They just do. Which is gross.
Let's see, what's this here? Some folks may not know it, but almost everything NAs did was in some ritual. NAs, I'm lost, Dina. I'm really trying to keep up with chat, y'all. I can't read everything, so I'm not sure what NAs. Let's see, Miss Terrell D. I used the cane to pick up my undies and to knock the cereal box down off the shelf. That was something in response to. She said that when she drops her phone in the toilet, she makes her husband get it. And then Ramon made a little cheeky comment saying, well, I thought you were just because, you're so old, you would grab your cane and pull it out with your cane. And so that's where that's going back and forth. Let's see, Judith. Bottom line is do not let the clash of religions separate we as people, human race, and make it into a war. All religions, including the countries that do not have a religion. I see what you're trying to type in there. Yeah. To me, a lot of the religions, in place are used as excuse for war and for money and stuff.
Judith, what's with all the capital letters? It's like every word had a capital letter. I was having a hard time looking at it. Like, oh, they're all capitals.
Almost. So
it makes it weird to read. Sorry, I'm not trying. That was throwing me. I was having a hard time reading it. I realized that was why.
So he said I mean a grifter, that she was a grifter. Okay. I don't know, Tom. I can't say. I never got to experience her. Allyson did, so Allyson knows her experience and what she experienced and how she felt, and and Kristen says, I think it's what Allyson said. Cold reading is reading without getting info beforehand. Some people refer to cold reading as they look for cues. I think that was the word. Like if they might mention something, they might see the person go, ooh, they look for body language, they look for tone, they look for whatever information they give them that kind of takes them down. So some people with reading, that's how, they aren't really
there's
readers,
no way Sylvia Browne was doing that. Not when you're reading hundreds and hundreds of people all the time and all the stuff that she did and knew and whatever. Again, she was very gifted. I mean, I really don't care what anybody says. I know she was. And then she wasn't. It was apparent.
And Dina says, I loved the pet psychic that used to be on Animal Planet. Because I was wondering because I'm looking at the chat here, and Kristen goes, how did we go from Elizabeth Bathory to pet psychics? And I'm like, what do you mean pet psychics? And then I saw that up there. So yeah. And Tom says, all beliefs and religions are valid. Yep, to the people who follow them and believe in them. I just don't like it when they're used in the name for war and for greed and for taking over other people's countries and lands and stuff. That I don't like. Tom was like, yeah, can we get back to bloodletting and BDSM talk? Oh my goodness. Let's see. Sylvia Brown was consulted on a missing child case. She said the child was kidnapped by a Hispanic man
I
and
know,
was
I
now
know. And
dead.
that's when everybody freaked out.
The girl was found alive. Oh, I didn't
That
know.
was the big downfall. And then that's all you hear about for 20 years afterwards.
And Judith says, I know. I just started this bad habit after I was laid off in October. It's starting to piss me off. So she goes to make it stop. Janet Lee says, the Candy Cane Cooper pet psychic. Oh, Candy Cane Cooper, the pet psychic. So Kristen says, yes, Tom, let's have some kink with our cake. What? How did we get to cake? I had a muffin today, but I didn't have any cake. So it's, well, you never know. It's a Friday night. You never know where the conversation's going to go. It's always interesting. We're at 9:30, and but yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm going to read this
I
again.
know the next big psychic that's been out and about. I know John Edwards was, I think, called out once on his show. And some people are talking about James Von Prague. I've heard positive things about him. I've heard negative things about him. And then, of course, you got Teresa Caputo, who just goes right up to people when there's a camera rolling and goes, excuse me. I don't know. To me, that's a little, I don't know if I would want that. So, you know, I like chip coffee. I don't know how people feel about chip coffee. Um,
I can tell you, everybody is either loved by some, hated by others, and that's just how it is. This is how it is. And you're always going to have somebody saying you're not real, or you're this, or you're that, or, it's just, that's just how it is.
Carolyn goes, I had cake. Where's my kink? I don't know, Carolyn. Is Peter nearby? Maybe, after the show, chat goes out. Just saying. Maybe borrow one of Karen's turkey teddies. Or maybe some of Angie's, bubblegum underwear or licorice thongs. Have some fun. Tom said, I had pie. Pizza pie, no cake. Oh, pizza pie sounds good, though. Now, Tyler, too. I've heard some people say they've caught Tyler Henry doing stuff. But, like you said, you never know, because of the problem nowadays is that when you have these shows, you want people to keep coming back to the shows, and there are scripts, just like a lot of the paranormal
people
shows.
Suck.
There's a lot of scripts. So there may be actual psychics that are good, but because if they want to keep their show or keep production, they have to follow what production or your company wants
that
you to
too.
do. So you're going to have a lot of that going on. And yes, Tyler Henry.
Tyler's the real deal. So is John Edwards. So is Teresa Caputo. And people can say whatever they want. I personally really don't give a shit. I know that they're the real deal. There's and also something else too, as far as getting it wrong, everybody can get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And even that big old thing that Sylvia Brown did that everybody freaked the hell out about, that girl and whatever. I get it, because the family was really distraught and upset and whatever. And it's like, you got to know when you see a psychic that it might not necessarily be right. You always have to hold on to that and remember that. And I'm not saying that it's okay what that family went through, but it's like to put all your I don't know. I just think it's a shame that if somebody screws something up or says something wrong, and I know Sylvia screwed up and but I mean, like the others, and then you have people saying, oh, they're not real, or they're It's like even Teresa Caputo, it's like, really, are you like, really? It's like, come on.
And Tom says, wouldn't you rather have the fake psychics called out, Allyson? They use teams and research during their shows, and a lot of them, there are some that do. And so
that's not what we're talking about. And there
Well,
are no fake psychic is going to have a show. Period.
see, for me, I feel a little bit different. I think, I mean, you could have maybe some
You are
ability.
doubting Thomas. Yes, you doubt everything.
Doubting or at least questioning. So with certain psychics, I mean,
Questioning, doubting.
I mean, I've had
Yeah.
readings with people who said that they were psychic and they were reading my cards and I'm right and this is there. And I'm just sitting there going, you're full of, you know what? I mean, nothing came out of any of the reads. So for me, I haven't had really a true psychic reading. I mean, there are fakes
And some
out there,
people just suck. Some people just can't read.
and those would be fake. And sometimes they, can't get on TV, I think, or get put into the mainstream. Let's see. I think I doubt a lot, but my brain has been programmed, if you know what I mean. So yeah, we're constantly told to do that. And Tom says live shows, they do that. I don't know about all of them, Tom. Allyson, I agree. I think it's because she got too cocky and overly confident, and when got it wrong, it really backfired hard. So Miss Tarot D's
You
agreeing with
know,
you.
that's a good point, Ms. Tarot D. I think what could have happened was, although it's kind of what I said, but not really the way you worded that, is just that she needed to be knocked down at the knees, just totally cut off because of she'd gotten like she was kind of like sometimes she she could deliver some pretty sensitive information to people and it was not handled with sensitivity. Like I saw
Mm,
that more than once, that kind of thing. And, whatever. I mean, she's still a human or
mm-hmm.
person.
She was.
It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. People are just fucking mean and nasty.
Especially now in this day and
I'm just
age.
over it.
And Tom wanted to say, not saying all of them. I don't speak in absolutes. I am not even saying that psychics don't exist. He's just saying that he feels a lot of the ones that do the large galleries and do the shows, they have a team where they fit people in there or, they get read. So that's where he feels. The best thing that I can say for them is that they get to a level where they need to continue it and it becomes more of a show than a gift. I get that, Tom. I totally get the gift becomes the gift becomes the grift. Exactly. I agree with that. Far too many people in general, especially these days, I agree, Dina, they don't have integrity. It's all about TV shows, money, you know, social media. And Tom said for some. So he's not saying that psychics aren't real. It's just that, most of the ones that we see, you know, he feels that they have a team that puts people. I think that was one of the things in John Edwards is that some people that left the production or something came forward and said that for shows they would insert certain people that he already had a reading with, already knew about, or were, and then they were the ones that were called on during the show, to make it look like he was pulling people out. So, hard to say. It really is. And Judith says, yep, all about the money. And John said, John Edwards had audience plants that would converse with others and then feed info back. I see what you're saying. So people would go, buddy, buddy, and talk to people. And then the information would get sent to John. And then he would pick those people out in the audience and then have that information. I see what you're saying there, Tom. Okay. Moira says there are many con artists of all types or all stripes. Tom says Allyson is so over me. No, we still love you. We still want you on. It's a healthy debate. It's a conversation. Um, and Ms. Terrell D says it's like any else. Once you get producers, they own you. Yep, and they make the show. You no longer have control, and they are there to make good TV. Exactly, and that's where that whole problem comes in. I don't know who Glenn Olstein is, or is that the evangelic? I can't even say the word tonight. I know it, and he says exactly, and he says it's unfortunate. So yeah, I think there's some, especially ones on TV that happens. It happened to Ghost Hunters, yes, and Tom actually got to meet Grant and Jay at one point, and Tom, said, those guys were nice, but they wanted more evidence, and they do feel that, Jay went ahead, or was it Jay or Grant? But no, not Jason, but Grant went ahead and did that fake tug pull or whatever when they were here of all places in Buffalo. So it does happen. And Tom says they were the nicest people. So a lot of these shows, yes, that's why I was so sad to hear that the Dead Files, left, because even though some of that was scripted, Amy Allen was always very forward to me from what I can see, and Cindy Kaza. I would love to meet Cindy Kaza. I think she's pretty damn cool. She's a good reader. She's a good psychic, her and Amy Allen. So,
I've never seen it.
oh, The Dead Files was such a good show. It really
There's a
was.
lot of stuff I haven't seen though. I haven't watched TV or cable or anything in years and
Well,
years
The
and
Dead
years.
Files was canceled. Cindy Kaza just came on to take Amy Allen's place because after all those years of doing it, she would get psychically attacked physically in her body, and she was getting sick. And she was sharing in a video interview that the production crew and everything, they were constant. She didn't have enough time to go home to ground, to get rid of that energy out of her before she was sent to another location, to another place, and some of those entities and spirits did a number on her body. And after all those seasons, she just said, I have to stop, because she was needing surgeries, and she wasn't well. And then Cindy Kaza took over for a season, and then all of a sudden Travel Channel says, well, we don't have the money in the budget, we're going to drop you. But I'm pretty sure that was because of Ghost Adventures, wanting the money, and Zach and his stuff. So it's sad to see that show go, but to me they were one of the more authentic, genuine ones. And I don't know who Mama Medium is, but I know the show Medium was based on, I think, Alison Dubois. That's on, you can see on YouTube. Um, so Early Ritual. So Tom said there was an Australian psychic show that I really liked, and he said it was called Sensing Murder. Ooh, Tom, I'll have to check that out. Um, the Ghost Brothers left the show because they wanted the brothers said, no, we're not faking it. So that's why the Ghost Brothers left. They wanted production to, have them fake evidence, and they didn't want to. So good for them. I'm glad they stood up to that. So, well, we're at 9:44. I didn't know if what your energy was, if you want to keep talking, or if you had anything else that you want to talk about or share or anything.
I can't think of anything. I mean, I'm good to go until the hour, I guess.
So Tom says, yeah, I think people just need to feed the beast. It sucks. Yeah, because nowadays it's all about money. It really is. Jenny Marie, search her up sometime. Jenny Marie. Okay. But I want to look into that Sensing Murder, Tom. If you can send me a link, that would be awesome. And Drew says, going back to caps, that's why we need to support our community here online. The real people will continue. The fakes will be deleted. So I'll support these channels by giving donations, subscribing, and giving a big thumbs up. Thank you, Judith. I appreciate that. Karen says, I really like the Foreman brothers from Paranormal Nightmare. Don't know if I heard that. There are actually two twins that are out there. They're on YouTube. They're twins, and one's hair is like Cruella. It's half blonde and half black, and it's the two twins. I can't think of the name of the show. They use the Ghostbox app on their phones, and there's this other guy that's a part of the crew, and it's sometimes fun to watch them, but sometimes they get a little irritated. But the ones that are genuine, sometimes it's not as exciting as a production. because you got to sit there. People think they get, when you go to see these shows with the paranormal, they're thinking, oh man, look at all the evidence they're getting. Boom, boom, boom. And people don't realize these investigations are 8 hours. We are basically seeing 44 minutes of what little they got within like a 7 to 8 hour, investigation. So some of these programs like to have them spice things up so that they keep people coming back. And sometimes the ones I watch on YouTube can be a little boring because you don't have all the dramatics and everything. But there are some. Um,
There's that one channel on YouTube, and I can't remember what it's called. Um, but it's very um, genuine and real. So a lot of the times it's kind of boring because there's not,
you don't have all that production and
yeah, I mean,
the music.
sometimes not much happens, or there won't be any, but it's not embellished. It's very, I wish I could remember the name. It's a huge channel. I
Right,
mean, he's got
Dina?
like 2 million followers or something crazy.
So it's one person. Is it Dalen?
What?
Is it Dalen? Because Dalen's part of the Ghost Brothers, but he
No.
has his own channel too. No, okay.
Who's the young blonde guy? His name's Colin.
Oh, does he have a guy with him with a tiny little thin mustache? He's a heavier set guy.
Just him.
Okay, because there's one called Colin, and he's got blonde hair and
It's
stuff.
just him. He's got. Actually, it's not just him. His girlfriend is part of it. I don't follow it anymore. I don't think I unfollowed him. I think it was one of the times YouTube decided that I was just not going to follow somebody anymore because I just realized it's like, oh yeah, he's not in my feed anymore.
No.
But
anyways,
they do that. He does. It's all paranormal stuff, and he's just very likable, and yeah.
There's now Dakota has a show. I can never remember the name of it. He's with his sister and a couple of other guys and people who know ghost adventures. Zach and them had a contest. This is going about, I think, 7, 8 years ago, where a lucky viewer who had the best video, ghost video for their show would win an investigation with them. And a young man named Dakota won. His dad helped him, and so they got to haunt this. Not haunt. They got to investigate this one haunted location, and I guess Dakota, really wanted to get into the video, and he ended up becoming an employee of Zach's doing camera work. Yeah, I've lost respect for Zach. Yeah, I get it, Tom. And so at one point he ended up leaving. And it wasn't, first, Nick was kicked off. And then Dakota left. And then finally they're coming forward and saying that, Zach is horrendous. He doesn't like competition. He wants to be, the king of the roost. Anybody else, that he feels undermines him, he gets rid of, or he has the network say either me or them, and they always pick him. So Dakota said that he was glad that he got away. Now they do his own investigations with people. I think it's called Project. Is it Project Fear, Tom, or is it Destination Fear? One of them. I'll have to find it. They to me, they do good shows. I like them. Um, let's see. I don't watch Jason because he would investigate somewhere, and a number of times it would be what I picked up. Our records proved it. So Jason on his own now. Times it would be where I picked up. So okay, not sure. I know part of me. Yeah, Zach's eyes have turned black. He's not doing so great. I don't think. I agree on that, Carolyn. Bye, Fatima, my dear. Thank you for sharing, your beliefs and respecting. I mean, it's just wonderful to have you. It's always a pleasure, my dear. how we can all have Project Fear. Thank you, Tom. So yes, Fatima, thank you. Thank you for bearing with me. You're welcome, Tom. No problem. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I would like to do investigations. I hate calling them hunts. These were people once. A lot of the places that you investigate, these were people, and for whatever reason, they're trapped there. Sometimes it's against their will that for some reason they can't cross
I've never
over.
heard anybody use that term, and you've mentioned what you're saying numerous
Oh yeah,
times. I've
they go.
never
Let's
heard
go hunt.
anybody say
Let's go
that.
hunt some ghosts. It's a popular term, ghost hunting, and I don't like the
No, I
word
believe you.
hunting.
I just,
Yeah,
yeah.
I prefer investigating. And Carolyn, while I have you here, how do you feel about trigger objects? I was recently watching one of those YouTube guys, groups that do it on YouTube. And they were at this cabin where a husband murdered his wife. I don't know if there was a child. I can't remember if there was a child. I think it was his wife. And what they did was is that to get them the spirit to talk more, they tried recreating that night when she was murdered. And they would come in. One of them came in dressed up like a cop, talking like a cop would, to come in and knock on the door to investigate, trying to look over with the flashlight. To me, I don't think I like that kind of trigger objects. To me, that's like you're almost traumatizing that spirit if they're still, caught in the physical in the plane here on Earth. And to me, that's almost disrespectful. What do you think, Allyson? Would you do something like that if you were ever take part in an investigation?
No, it's
Recreate a scene
stupid.
like, well, that's what people do. They do that to get, a
I
reaction.
don't think a, well, yeah, no,
Bye,
no.
Kristen. Good to see you. Well, it's because we read on the paranormal and stuff now and whatnot. I just wanted to see. I mean, there are some things where you can put something in there where it might be a T-shirt or something that belonged to somebody or something similar. But these people went out of their way to get a police uniform, walkie-talkie, knocking on the door, calling in, and it's just like, And Tom said, "Yeah, is that spirit's trapped because of the trauma? That is definitely a re-trauma. So if you actually believe in them, they're being former people. It's really dicky. Thank you. No, 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 not done on a real investigation. Well, these guys were doing it. This wasn't like a made like a TV program. This was on YouTube. This was a private. But I've seen other people using, trigger objects, and to me, some of them are okay. But when these guys did that, I was just like, first of all, don't you think the spirits realize what you are doing? I mean, how stupid is that? But at the same time, like Tom said, are you like re-traumatizing, these spirits? But Judith says, I don't think it would make trauma for the ones passed, more so for the family that is still here. But Judith, honey, what I'm saying is if this spirit of this woman, because this place is still being gaining activity, if this woman's spirit is still stuck there because of what her husband did to her, I think it's shitty that these investigators decided that they were going to recreate the night that she was murdered to try to get her to react to them investigating so they can get evidence. To me, that's traumatizing. It's got to be for a spirit. To me, I think that sucks. I would never do that. Yeah, well, it's also triggering potentially for the descendants and relatives. Yes. Thank you, Tom. See, people need to be more respectful. I mean, I would probably not be on TV because I wouldn't put up with this kind of bullshit. And that's one of the things why I respected Amy Allen, was that she would go investigate these places, and then she would find out after exposing herself to these spirits and these energies, they would find out when she would come and do the reveal that the owners were like, "Oh, we don't want to get rid of the spirits. We just want to see who's here so we can keep making money and doing the ghost hunts and tours." And she's like, "What? Excuse me? I thought you wanted to help these people to move on." And so some of those, it's just, oh my God, I would just be putting my head through it. And too bad Jay left because Jay used to do the paranormal investigations back in the day. Um, I think she does some of them too still. And the trouble that she says, people opening portals with boards and seances and things and not doing things properly or leaving and getting scared and not closing and just causing so much trouble that it takes a lot to go in and to help a family. So I's going to be quiet now. We got 4 minutes left. Anything else you want to add, Allyson? So I'm not talking the whole rest of the whole show. Anything you want to
No,
add? No. I'm just going
no.
to sit here and play with my beautiful plants. She's got such a beautiful green thumb. My mom loved plants. She had them all
I'm
over.
just taking out my high. I have, yeah, I have a bunch that go in the window during the day and then they
Yeah.
get put to bed at night and
Oh, how cute! She
whatever.
puts her plants.
Well, I
to
kind
bed.
of have
I
to
love that.
because
That's cute.
I don't get as much light, obviously, in the fall and the winter, right?
Yeah.
And most of my plants are medium light and low light, but I do have some high uh, direct light and indirect light plants, so they get moved around a little bit, and my plants stay healthy and beautiful all year because I do pay attention. And a lot of people say that the real trick, I'll just be really brief, if you care at all or whatever, and anybody that really truly is interested already knows this, is just giving the plants what they need. You feed them when they need to be fed. You keep track of it. You can do it on your calendar. You make sure they get the right light, they have the right soil, repot them when they need it, and they will thrive and be gorgeous. It's not really that complicated.
And Moira says, I have mine under a grow light. So she keeps some of hers under a grow light. Even if it's for YT, they did it for clicks. Yes, they did. So going down, Karen, I have mine going on. Will you be joining us tomorrow night? So to kind of end the show a little bit, Miss Tarot D is actually going to, get her, what do you call that, her girdle on. She's going to get dressed up. She's going to do her makeup. She's going to get her wig on, get herself all dolled up. And she's going to be on Angie's channel. And I'm going to be joining them. And hopefully Karen will be too. So be sure to stay tuned tomorrow night on Angie's channel, Roots and Waves. And, oh, now she might still be there. Her internet's been on enough, so I might be dark to her and she might be sitting there. So yep, 7 p.m. Yay! And let's see, Judith, I understand that, but we humans cannot traumatize ones that have passed. Yeah, I think we still can traumatize spirits that are here. I do. Ones that are trapped here. On the other side too, I don't know. Um, But yeah, I'll give it a few more minutes to see if Allyson pops back in. 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to have to make sure that I'm all dolled up. Miss Tarot D be putting on her finest for us. Karen, will you be rocking the turkey teddy? I'll have to find something fun to wear. Oh my god. Maybe I'll find my crown. If I can find my crown hats. So that if we get 100 likes tomorrow, I can show. Well, there you go. I'll give it a few more minutes, see if she pops back in, or she might, text me and let me know I lost the connection. But yeah, very interesting conversation tonight. You never know where a Friday night is going to go, and I appreciate everybody being respectful, because a lot of us were, sometimes it might get a little heated. We might get a little opinionated, but as long as we stay respectful to each other and chat, I think that's wonderful. And at least I try to do my best. And Allyson, to stay respectful too. Enjoyed your show tonight. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I hope people did. Like I said, I know we don't always see eye to eye. We butt a lot of heads, But Tom, while I'm thinking of it, I was watching a show before coming on because one of our fellow part readers, and well, he's not a reader. I don't think he is. Magus usually pops in and says hi in the beginning. So Magus, if you're still watching, I'm really not familiar with Zoroastrianism. So I went to go look some of it up today. And Tom, it just looked like some of the ancient images from that reminded of me of that vision that I had that one day. The long beard with like the hat, bending over with the writing. So I know you don't necessarily believe in past lives, but I don't know if that might be a possibility. That was really interesting, and I want to share that with you. Yes, Tom is very rude. Tom is very opinionated, but he does it in a respectful manner. You're lucky my wife distracted me, Mr. OT. Oh my goodness. So I think I lost Allison. Let me go ahead. I don't know if she's going to pop back in to say so long. So let me go ahead and just mute myself. So let's see what else we got going on here. Okay, she goes, she tried 3 times. I'm done. Okay, she says her phone is hot. So she's giving all little hearts to everybody. Thank you again. So tomorrow I'll be joining Miss Tarot D and Ange. Um and possibly Karen on her channel tomorrow night. That's going to be fun. And then Sunday, Karen and I are going to do Hey, what's your sign? And we'll be talking about Scorpio because we're in Scorpio season. And then Monday, I'll be back with Nancy, Crow's Intuition for Divine Feminine. And I believe I'm thinking about we might discuss the portal, the 1111 portal. So on Monday. So we'll see about that. Love you too, Carolyn. Thank you for popping in. It's always interesting how our conversations go. And hello, Christina. Thank you for being here too, my dear. So, everybody, have a great rest of your Friday night. And we'll see you all and talk to you all next live or in our chat. So, bye bye. Have a good night.